Good morning. Hello and welcome to today's program, Launching Your E-Commerce Store the Right Way. This webinar is being presented by Josh Irons, CEO of River Avenue Digital and SCORE Small Business Award winner, a former client of ours. Thank you, John, for sharing this important information with us today, and I trust all of our viewers will find it informative and helpful. Just a few notes about SCORE. My name is Maria Smith, and I'm a volunteer with SCORE of Chester and Delaware counties. SCORE is a nonprofit organization that has been in existence for 50 years and is a resource partner of the Small Business Administration. SCORE's mission is to foster a strong small business community by providing free mentorship and business education. We are here to support you and to help you grow your business. Here in Chester and Delaware counties, we have 100 volunteers ready to help. Our mentoring and most of our educational programs are free. You will find many tools, templates, and other business resources on our website, Resource Library. This presentation is being recorded and will be made available to you after today's session. You have all been placed on mute so we can avoid distractions. Please ask your questions in the Q&A box, and we will take breaks to answer them. We are pleased today to introduce Sam Bardaric. Let me just take myself off the camera here. Sam is our business and career librarian with Chester County Library, and she is also a SCORE workshop presenter who will share a brief update on her programs. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you, Maria. I'm Sam Bardaric. I'm the Business and Career Librarian, and I just want to give you a very short introduction to all the resources that we have for small business owners and prospective entrepreneurs. So you can go on, all of the links are on here. Everything that you see on this page can be found at either ccls.org or chescolibraries.org. There's a couple websites and there's reasons for that. But if you go to those places, you'll find databases. And again, all of these resources are free to you with the Chester County Library card, or you can go to any of the Chester County libraries and access them on a network computer. So Reference Solutions, it used to be called Reference USA. It is a fantastic database for finding demographic information on potential customers and where they are, or if you're a B2B business, finding other or either finding your competition business-wise, or finding potential business customers by type of business. And we have other Statista and Gale Business Insights Essentials or other databases that are really good for giving you the data that you need for marketing, for figuring out your target customer base, and for putting anything else that you might need into your business plan. We also have a database that has actual sample, or not real life business plans that were successful, and you can see the full business plan and search in one of those databases to find similar ones to yours if you're writing a business plan and need a template or an idea of what is included in that. We also have a LinkedIn page of many books that you can check out. We're constantly adding new ones. We have small business workshops. We put our SCORE workshops on our calendar. Again, all those calendars are available on the websites, and I offer one-on-one assistance as well. That's either via email or via Zoom at this point, but you can contact me, and either via email or one-on-one, we can set up a time to go over many of these resources, the ones that would be best for you, and to look more in depth in those databases like Reference Solutions. And we also have a newsletter that you can sign up for, a monthly newsletter that includes the newest resources and workshops that we have. I hope that is helpful, and feel free to contact me at any time with any questions.
Thank you, Sam. Josh, I'm going to take this down and have you ask you to share your screen.
Sounds good. How do we look?
Looks good.
All right, then I will get this party started. Hello, everybody. I am Josh Irons. I'm CEO of River Avenue Digital, and today we're going to be talking about launching your e-commerce store. Not just launching it, but launching it the right way. And I want to make this as interactive as possible. So when you do have questions, just pop them in. We'll take some breaks. If there's a question that I get really excited about, I may just stop. But don't hesitate to drop questions in because I want to answer all your questions. So the way that we're going to structure this is we're going to have 3 parts, and this will take less than an hour. Q&A might take us to that hour mark, but we should be in good shape to get you out of here a little bit early. Start with a quick introduction, then why e-commerce, and then we'll learn about some of the tips and tricks that make transitioning to e-commerce a lot easier. So let's start with the intro. So as you've heard twice or maybe 3 times already, I'm Josh Irons. I'm CEO of River Avenue Digital. River Avenue Digital is a full-service marketing agency that leads with digital. We help small businesses find new clients and engage better with the ones that they have. I started this company about 3.5 years ago after running a few large marketing agencies and decided I wanted to venture off on my own, not do a lot of work travel around the country, and kind of stick my flag in the ground here in Delaware County and grow a business. So that's a little bit about me. Now let's talk about why e-commerce. As you know, if you are like me, you see the Amazon or FedEx or UPS driver quite often at your house because you are buying online. We had a day the other day where I had to take 3 trips outside to pick up different delivery boxes just because our consumption of online purchasing has increased so much, especially over the last 2.5 years or year and a half. And you can see by the look of this graph where e-commerce is going in the United States, and it is through the roof. So when you're thinking about starting your online business or taking your bricks and mortar online, there's a lot of things you need to do before you even think about a website to sell. And Score can help you greatly on this, and we'll talk a little bit about that shortly. But you want to test the feasibility of your business idea, create a budget, figure out how much you're willing to spend, and look at what your goals are in terms of sales. You want to give your business the best chance of success, and you have to figure out how e-commerce fits into your overall plan. You don't want to develop your plan in a vacuum, and that is one of my favorite things about Score, is that when I started my business, I didn't have to build this thing in a vacuum. I had advisors and a bunch of smart people that kind of gave me tips and tricks and showed me the way. Understand who your clients are. You can't be everything to everybody. So you have to make sure that you really have targeted your customers and you know who they are. What's your revenue model? How are you going to make money? What are the characteristics of the software that runs your website? We'll get into that. That's going to be an easy question to answer. Building the business is the hard part. What do you sell and to what market? And have you done your competitive research? 8 times out of 10, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to build a better mousetrap. So when you're planning, what are you selling? Look at your competitors. What do you like about their websites? What do you not like about their websites? How are they providing information? Are they doing it through video? Are they doing it through blogs? Are they doing it through vlogs? Do they have podcasts? I mean, people try a bunch of different tactics to get their name out there, but it all revolves around figuring out where your target audience is and how you interact with them. So these are just 3 examples of different approaches to the same exact type of e-commerce website, which are selling mid-tier watches. Another thing you really want to dig into is that competitive analysis. And we have a template that we use, which I'm happy to share with anybody if you reach out to me after the presentation, and I could send this to you. But it becomes a fill in the blank exercise and figure out what you like, what you don't like, what your competitors' websites are doing, what you want your website to do. This gives you a lot of information, a lot of insight, and it's a really, really good starting point when you're trying to figure out what's going on in your marketplace. I'll say it again, building your business in a vacuum without anybody's input is very, very dangerous. You can have the best idea in the world, but execution comes with help. And reaching out to SCORE mentors is a good place to start. And in the situation that I ran into is I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting in Delaware County, and somebody from SCORE spoke and said, "Oh wow, I have all this experience. My service is free, and I want to help you." And I said, "Wow, sounds too good to be true." And it was very, very good. So, quiz time.
I'm launching your poll, Josh.
Okay, I want to know who has an e-commerce store already, and I want to see who doesn't.
You can take a moment to just participate in the poll. We'll take a look at the results as soon as everyone has a moment to fill this out. It's just a few questions. Is the poll visible to everyone? Because I'm not.
I'm seeing the end of webinar poll.
Well, that would be, seems like the wrong poll. This is, oh, you're correct. I'm sorry, there are a few polls in here. I have to choose the right one. My mistake. Here we go. Do you see it now?
That's the one.
Okay, thank you all. Sorry about that. Okay, just another minute or two. Okay, I'm going to just share the results here, Josh, so you can.
Okay, great. So I mean, it's just about 40%, 60%. So that's exactly what I was thinking it would be. So great. Let's keep it going.
There we go.
All right, so let's learn. Where do we get started? This guy is he's surprised by everything, but he's going to take us through this list of ideas. So we'll start with a domain name. A domain name is the name of your website. So for instance, we were talking about those watch websites before. One of them was watchgauge.com. Another one was longislandwatches.com. So it's important to choose a name that's brandable, short, and unique. Our domain name is River Avenue Digital. We also purchased River Ave Digital just so we didn't have to type out those extra 3 letters, which can get annoying. But so take a moment, step back, think about what you're selling, think about your brand, think about something short, and think about something memorable. Logistics. So when you're creating an online store, you have a lot of things to consider. You have inventory. Where are you going to buy it from? Are you getting it cheap enough? You have to think about storage. Do you have room in your garage? Are you using a self-storage facility? Do you have a warehouse? How are you going to ship? Are you going to do shipping yourself, or are you going to use drop shipping? And for those of you that don't know, drop shipping is a way to send your orders to a fulfillment house, and then they will do the shipping on your behalf, and of course, charge you for that. Payment gateways. Are you going to accept credit card payments? Are you going to accept ACH payments? And what company are you going to use to do that? And there's a lot of choices out there. Delivery service. Are you going to deliver things, or is this part of your shipping initiative? Postage. Are you thinking about how much to charge when you are putting a product out there? How are you going to handle returns and refunds? And what are you going to do about packaging? Going back to those watch stores, one of them is our client, and one thing that he does that separates him from his competitors is he does a handwritten note for every order that comes through. When people are buying $800, $900, $1,000 watches, he takes a moment, stops, writes, "Dear so-and-so, thank you very much for being a great customer." And that means a lot, and that helps him get repeat business. Any questions about logistics? There's a lot going on here. All right. So let's talk about the platform. How the heck are you going to build this thing? This is a very, very important part, but the great news is there's a lot of different platforms out there, and some of them are plug and play. So you don't have to spend a ton of time or energy or money to get someone to develop an e-commerce website for you. A lot of it you can do yourself, and it makes it really, really easy to get help. So here's a few different options that are pretty popular. There's Wix, WooCommerce, which is attached to WordPress. There's BigCommerce, there's Squarespace, and Shopify. We've used all of these with our clients, and our preference is Shopify for a number of reasons, but it's easy to have an argument why other platforms are better. So why buy and not build? I kind of alluded to it. Getting an off-the-shelf tool that is built specifically for e-commerce is a cost-effective solution. You're able to customize these to a certain extent. I haven't come across a situation where we weren't able to do what a customer or a client was looking for based on the parameters of these tools. These platforms are always innovating to try to do better than each other, and that, at the end of the day, helps us because we're going to get the latest and greatest options when we are bought into one of these platforms. Built-in marketing solutions. A lot of these plugins have tools that you can add in, whether it's email marketing, whether it's shopping cart retargeting, whether it's there's a whole bunch of marketing solutions that are built in. And again, these companies are building their platforms in order to make you, the client, happy. So they're trying to get everything they can in there. Some of them have logistics management that helps you with shipping and that helps you with postage. And also there are experts that engage with each of these platforms. So you do have help. You're not alone. We went through and we graded each of these platforms on a scale of 1 through 5, based on cost, based on the flexibility of the templates, search engine optimization. And I'm going to send out this presentation afterwards, and I'm sure you'll be able to download the version that you're watching now. But this is going to be interesting as you're making your decision. And again, you can see that all these numbers are pretty close. And when we are talking about costs, the $3 signs are not that much more than the $1 sign when it comes to getting up and running. This just kind of dives into the back end a little bit. One of my favorite pieces of this is, of these platforms, are that you can really manage your inventory. You can see what's been purchased, what's been paid for, and then you can go in and fulfill these orders to make sure that everything is taken care of and you don't drop the ball and get bad reviews on Google or wherever you're collecting reviews.
Josh, it's Maria. We have a question actually in our chat box. It's
Okay.
from another Maria, and she's interested to know what criteria was used to apply these ratings.
So
It was from your previous slide.
Yep.
The ratings.
Let me go back to that slide. So we built this rating system on our experience. So we have a team of 3 developers and 3 other people that are involved in the e-commerce part of our business, and they've all used all of these platforms. And we have put together these ratings based on our personal experience. So that's kind of how that came together. And we have no ties to any of these, and we are pretty agnostic when it comes to using things that are given to us. But if somebody comes to us and says, hey, which direction should I go? We usually start with Shopify. Again, this is a little bit of the back end that shows you what's been purchased. Another look at the back end, which shows you kind of the user journey. If you dig in a little bit deeper, you can see how many times somebody's been to your site. You can see how many times people have put stuff into their shopping cart before they bought it. You can see if they have based on a profile that's created online, if they are a risk of fraud. So there's a lot of things that you can see here, but you can get some insight into your customer and then help go after other customers just like that person. Web hosting. What you're looking for when you're looking for a host is reliability and availability, security, which is very, very important. You want something that's economical. You want something, and this is what we look for the most, is the customer service aspect of it, because I don't want to have to deal with a server or backing up servers or scalability of servers. I want a team there that helps me. The good news about our platforms is that these are all hosted, with the exception of WooCommerce. So Shopify, BigCommerce, Wix, and Squarespace, you have no choice but to use their hosting service, which in all these cases is very fine. And WooCommerce is built with a WordPress front end, and that would be, you would have to make a decision on what server to use there. Do we have another question?
We do. Yeah, it's in the chat box. It's from Paige. Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, great.
Hi, Paige. What impact have supply chain issues had on you and or your e-commerce clients? It's all over the board. I mean, there has been an impact, and I would say that the businesses that are taking the proper precautions and setting the right expectations with their clients are ones that seem to be doing better with this supply chain mess. There are others who aren't taking that into consideration and are getting burnt on shipping costs. They haven't changed their shipping costs. They're getting burnt on delivery expectations, where they're getting stuff shipped from other countries that are not able to get out in the time frame that their customers want. So, and the clients that have gotten ahead of it have done okay, as good as they can do. But the ones that kind of ignored it or didn't pay attention to the implications are in a little bit of trouble now. After you've kind of gotten your foundation going and ready, you have to think about architecture and design. What is the easiest way for someone to navigate your website and to find what they're looking for? You want to get somebody to a product in 1 or 2 clicks at the most, or you have the potential to lose them. I mean, as we know, people have the attention span of a gnat sometimes. So if they aren't shown what they're looking for right away, you have the real opportunity to lose them in that process. So that's the architecture or user experience, as we like to call it. And then there's the design. You want something inviting, something that gets people excited, kind of like this, right? I'm just kidding. This is the most awful design you can see. But you can see like they put about 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag, and this is not a good user experience. And then you see something like this, where shop new, the brand is here, the brand matches the domain name, you know that you're finding shoes, bags, or extras, and it makes it really simple to find what you're looking for on the design side. And my favorite part of this whole thing, let's see if there's another question. Here we go. How difficult, Mark, this is a question from Mark. Thanks, Mark. How difficult is it to switch platforms, hosts, and other existing services once one has been established and operational? It's not that easy. It sometimes requires a whole new setup, but there are services out there that will help you do that, that make it easy. I mean, you would just have to pay them, but paying them is a lot easier than banging your head against the wall and trying to kind of switch platforms. We recently moved a client from BigCommerce to Shopify, and it gave us the opportunity to help them rebuild their site, change their navigation, and make it better. So we took the opportunity to improve the site overall. And the good news is sales ended up going up about 30% after we made the switch. So it was a win-win. All right, let's do a little quiz now. Maria, if you want to bring up the next one.
Okay.
So what is the right sequence of stages in the marketing funnel? And take a look at these, process them, and then kind of give us your thoughts on which one is the right answer here. This is the process people use to help make a decision, and each of these, there's ways that we help them along through the process.
Getting there. Just waiting for a couple of others. Okay. Okay, we'll share these results.
All right. Well, the people have spoken, and 60% are correct. Awareness, interest, consideration, intent, evaluation, and purchase. So there's a lot that goes in to somebody who is considering buying something on your website. The first thing we need to do is make them aware. Once they're aware, we have to cultivate their interest. As they're considering what they're going to purchase, we have to give them all the information possible to make a good decision. There is intent. Now they have the money and they're ready to do something. They're doing evaluation. And when I do evaluation, I'm looking at the best ratings and the worst ratings on Amazon. I want to see what people love and what people don't like about a product. And then they actually purchase it. But there's a lot that can go wrong through that process, and which we'll touch on momentarily. So again, this is what that funnel looks like. So from a marketing perspective, we want to create campaigns and figure out who our customers are and how do we drive people to get them to our website. So that's the awareness. Now, on the interest side, we want engagement and introduction, and that's through emails, targeted content, newsletters. Then there's consideration. We're giving them product information. They're getting automated emails, case studies, free trials. They're learning more and more about the product. Intent. Is there a sale that adds to the nurture stream? Can we get them to pull the trigger a bit quicker? On the evaluation side, they are almost there. We just have to bring them across the finish line, and then the sales transaction is completed. But then there's more. How do we get them to do this all again and be a consistent buyer of our product? So a lot of people think if you build the site, people will come to it, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. So we need to really consider the 5 P's of marketing: product, price, people, promotion, and place. And I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory, but is the product what your audience is looking for? Is the price right? Is it too low? Which could be the case, and people will hesitate to buy something that they think might be too cheap. So we've had clients that raised their prices and did a lot better. Do you understand who your target audience is? We use a tool called personas, and we create a almost fake audience for a product or a service. And we do 3 or 4 of these, and then we market to those fake people who actually have real characteristics. Then is the promotion on point? Are we reaching our right audience? Are we using the right platforms? A good example of that is, do we reach out to people who are 50 and over on TikTok? No, we use Facebook for that in many cases. So it's knowing where your audience is. And then also, is the placement right? Are people finding you, in this case, on Google? Are you coming up high in the search rankings? And then just think about this in a brick and mortar place. Is your store in an alley? We hope not, because it'll be harder to find. So other tactics, ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, items that drive people to your e-commerce store are important, but even more important are the analytics surrounding that and finding out if people are buying. So if we're working with a client and they say, yep, we need more sales from our e-commerce store, and then we say, all right, let's try Google ads and Facebook ads, budget maybe $1,000, we try 500 on each. All of a sudden we see that Google is converting at a much higher rate at a lower cost. We're going to move that money from Facebook to Google and take advantage of the analytics that we analyzed. Then there's social media. Social credibility is a big issue, and this means that a company that has 1 5-star rating versus a company that has 50 4.5-star ratings, the company that has the more social credibility, or more people that say this is good, is a very good thing. And people make decisions based on that. If I see something has 1 star and no reviews, I kind of tend to shy away from it. But if there's a lot of people, the masses are talking about something, I'm more likely to kind of follow their lead. And then there's email marketing. How do we stay top of mind? Let's show up in their inbox. Another great use of email marketing with e-commerce is shopping cart abandonment. And I'm sure that you've seen this, where you've put something in your shopping cart and then you didn't check out, and all of a sudden you get an email, hey, did you forget something? That's a good tactic, and it actually works. And if you could convert 10% of the people who have left stuff in your shopping cart, that's a huge win, because that wouldn't be money in your pocket otherwise. Any questions? All right, we'll keep moving through. There's a legal aspect of this, and no one likes this part of it, but you have to make sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's, or it can come back and bite you. We had a client on the e-commerce side early on that wasn't thinking about having to pay tax on the things that he was selling. He got a letter from the IRS and an invoice for $20,000. You don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that you take care of all this stuff up front. So taxes, make sure the terms and conditions on your website are customized. Don't cut and paste other people's. Talk to a lawyer. Make sure that you are writing these from your store's perspective, not another store's perspective, because it could come back and bite you. Make sure your refund policy is tight. Your privacy policies, you want to make sure that you are not, or you're alerting people about cookies on your website. And there's automated ways to do this. A lot of the platforms take care of that for you. Make sure that your shipping policy is stated on your website, and also your return policy. And then you also need to think about your payment gateway, which I mentioned earlier, and that is how you're collecting payments. And you have to make sure that it's a good way to do it. There's a lot of high-end companies out there, but there's also a lot of lower-end players that try to get involved in that. And you're going to end up paying a lot more in the long run. It might look cheaper in the beginning, but at the end of the day, it's not that good. We have some clients in the CBD arena and also some hemp type products. Payment gateway is a big issue for them because a lot of the banks don't want to work with those types of products, but there are options for you. So there are a few things that you need to be aware of. I'm not going to run through all this legal mumbo jumbo, but it will be in this deck, and it's important to be aware. Something that is big is the GDPR, and that is if you are doing business in the EU, and sometimes if you're not doing business in the EU, you have to take extra special care of the data that's collected on your website. And again, something that you need to be aware of, but the devil's in the details. I mentioned analytics. You want to make sure that Google Analytics is on your site and set up the right way so you can monitor goals, you can monitor what people are buying, you can monitor what people aren't buying. And this gives you good insight into the things that are happening real time on your website. And I would suggest, if you're doing this on your own, taking a short course online to familiarize yourself with the ins and outs of Google Analytics, because it can really make or break your store. So these are a few of the frequently asked questions that I get, but let's take a break here and see if anybody has any other questions for me before we jump into these FAQs.
Josh, it's Maria. I don't see any in the boxes here, but I do have a couple of questions that we've heard from some clients about e-commerce especially over the last year. One is on the personas that you mentioned. Could you give us a couple of examples of real personas just to give us an idea of how that works? And the other question is actually about the payment process. Some clients are using Venmo. What is your position on the use of Venmo as a payment option online?
Sure. So let's start with the second question. So Venmo as a payment process online, I haven't seen it as a plugin on a website. And it also depends on your accounting system. You want to make sure your accounting system kind of interacts with your payment processor. That way you can see everything at a glance. I mean, we use QuickBooks. We have clients that use QuickBooks, and they are able to connect everything together to make it a almost seamless process so that they can view things. Square is one popular payment processor. You can process your payments through Amazon. You could process your payments through PayPal. So those are kind of the ones out there that kind of stand out from the crowd. And remind me of the first question.
Yes, it was about personas. If you could
yes.
give us a couple of examples.
Sure. So we have, I'll go into, I think I've been using watches as a good overall example. So we have a client that is a watch designer, and they are a fashion brand. And what we've done is we looked at all of their analytics. We've surveyed a lot of their clients, and we were able to come up with 3 different personas. The main persona of that watch brand is we call him Weekend Wally. I think that's what we call him. So he is a 55-year-old newly minted grandfather who is kind of successful in his career, and he likes to wear these watches on the weekend. During the week when he goes to work, he wears Rolexes or tags. On the weekend, he needs a beater watch, and for him, a beater watch is $1,000 watch that he's comfortable going to the beach with. doing yard work with, doing his chores with, but he doesn't want to mess up his weekday watches. And this is a real person. And we found out that there's a lot of people in the watch industry that kind of fit that persona. So we kind of came up with a dossier on Wally, and he likes adventure sports. He likes watching football on Sundays. He has a 20-something-year-old son or daughter, and he likes spending time with them. And we know what types of magazines he watches. We know what TV shows he watches. And that makes it really easy for us to target people like Wally. Does that make sense, Maria?
Thank you. He's interesting.
Yeah.
There is a question in the Q&A box. Are you able to see it, Josh?
Yep. Can you talk about affiliates versus e-commerce benefits? Yeah, I think they kind of go hand in hand. We have clients who have e-commerce stores, and affiliate marketing isn't for every type of product, but there are products out there that work on it. And for you, those of you that don't know, when we talk about affiliate marketing, it's how do we get other people to sell our products and give them some sort of commission to do it. So a good example of an affiliate program would be on the CBD side of the world, where we have clients who have CBD related websites, and we created affiliate programs for their customers or just people who love to be affiliates. And they take coupon codes, they take inventory, and they put it out there with a little bit of code at the end of the link, so they get credit for any sales that happen that way. And if you can make the economics work, it's a great idea. And I think that it really complements e-commerce overall. Hopefully that answered your question, Caroline. Okay, let's go back. Hang on one second. I have my, there it is. Okay, so what is the best platform for my product? I would say it depends, but we always say that it starts with Shopify. That's a good starting point. There's a free trial. You can get familiar with everything in the back end, and it also makes it pretty easy to design. There's a lot of templates out there that you can customize, and it can be done yourself, but there are experts out there that can help. Where do I start? Always start with your business plan. Make sure that you have your business plan written out, and you can have something, a roadmap to follow, and memorialize all those ideas. Bounce it off somebody, bounce it off friends, family, bounce it off Score, and that can help really give you the confidence you need to take it to the next level. What key performance indicators should I be monitoring? Obviously, you want to monitor site traffic. You want to monitor sales. You want to monitor shopping cart, what happens in your shopping cart, and time on site. Those are some of the things to start with. And then there's a whole other set of KPIs that you should be looking at on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to make sure that your e-commerce store is going in the right direction. I'd be happy to talk through those with anybody who's interested. Are there hidden costs I'll find as I set this up? That's the importance of coming up with your business plan. If you have a solid business plan, there won't be hidden costs there. Really, if you are using one of these platforms, really understand how the costs are structured. The surprises that some of our clients receive, even though we warn them about that, is shipping. They may not have the right shipping partner. They may underestimate the cost it is to ship things. If you are shipping things yourself, know that there is a pain in the butt cost of doing that. So those are the things that could come up and bite you, and also pay your taxes, because that could be a hidden cost that will get you. We'll catch you later. All right, any other questions? This link here, RAD40, is a checklist. So we came up with 40 bullet points that we like to look at and share with our clients when we're coming up with an e-commerce solution for them. So jot that down, bit.ly/rad40, and you can have access to it too. If there's any issues, just let me know and I'll send it to you directly. And let's all stay connected. You can find me online. Here's my direct contact information. And please link in with me. I'd love to stay in touch. Thank you very much, everybody. Any other questions? I'll take them now. If not, I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Josh. If you want to take this down, oh, we have a couple of questions popping in to the Q&A box.
There it is. bit.ly/rad40.
And you'll be getting this recording in the follow-up today, so you'll be able to see it there as well. Okay. If you take your presentation now, I can just get to the wrap-up here, John.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. Thank you, Josh, especially. He was a lot to think about. There's always more to this than we understand until we really dig in. Again, look for the recording later from SCORE. It'll come in an email to you. I just want to make sure everyone knows how to reach SCORE if you are looking for some help. We are here to help you with the next steps on your business plans and challenges and some of the specifics that Josh shared today. Please reach out to your SCORE mentor for support. You are not alone in this process. If you aren't already working with a SCORE mentor, you can request one by going to our website link here that's shown on the page, or by calling the phone number and speaking with Lillian Harvey, our office administrator. This information will also be included in the follow-up email from SCORE today. Okay.